Welcome back to the morning show. With us now is the director of esports at Baker College, Henry Johnston. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So esports, it's something we all hear about, but maybe don't pay too much attention to it. Tell me a little bit about the esports program.
Yeah, absolutely. So starting off, fundamentally, esports is just competitive video gaming.
Okay.
You know, it's a structured environment, let's say for us in college, where you've got your regular season, you can go into a playoffs that has a championship, just like traditional sports. But there are so many different games that you can play.
Sure.
I mean, there are popular titles like Valorant, Overwatch, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Super Smash Brothers. And it is I think, just great way to bring students together, give them a really, really valuable experience throughout their time. We're seeing this a lot more, not only in colleges now, but high schools too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's just a very, very bright future for what this can really continue to grow into, and the even more ways it can help support students.
Is the popularity growth due to the future careers that this program can lead to?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I think definitely there are some really, really cool opportunities in the future, career-wise. I mean, talking about how, I think it's a very common thing when you talk anything sport-wise, that professionalism, right? Going to become a pro is a very, you only have that option. But I think there's so many more things that people might not realize in actually esports, where it's more than just a game. Right? There are whole companies and organizations built that need support staff, whether that's coaches, managers. I mean, we're in the age of influencers now, right? There are so many ways to become an influencer in this online world, whether that be even more talking about like team chefs. I mean, we have sports psychologists now. There are doctors looking into the unique injuries that esports athletes can get. And who knows what maybe these new jobs will be in the future. But I think, of course, just bigger reason that I think gaming in general has grown over the years is actually the pandemic. You know, when we were all stuck inside, there was not much you could do. And I think a lot of people turned to not only play games, but also watch them. I think there was a lot of people who viewed professional esports, a lot of people who just talked about gaming, whether that be just, celebrities who maybe even stream their own games. And I think it's somewhat even a little more commonplace now. It's a little more normal. Not that it wasn't before, but I think it's just much more accepting of the community. So many more people, a variety of people have got involved, that it's just kind of, a lot of things people do it's something that a lot of people now will do as they grow up. So just maybe more normalized, you could say.
Have you noticed in some conversations maybe that you're having, explaining to people that there are millions of people that watch certain people play video games online? Is that hard for people to understand?
Absolutely. I think it's a lot harder in America compared to different countries. For example, there are so many Eastern countries that treat esports like we treat American football or baseball, where the fan base is truly dedicated and truly invested into video gaming. I mean, the really fun stats that you can see is the World Championships, the biggest matches of the year for esports, get more viewership than the NBA Finals, the Super Bowl, any basically American professional sport. There's more viewership in esports because of the international audience that it really brings together. It's not just one country, it's not just one region, it's everything together, and that's I think what's really, really cool is when you see those things, connect forward, those World Championships. And I mean, there are new games being built. There are different communities that love these different games, and you get just a really cool look into how some people's passion can really show through in the most unique ways.
Henry, tell me a little bit about your path and what led you to your current role here in Michigan at Baker College as director of esports.
Yeah, I think like many people in this space, I grew up playing games myself. It was just a really great way to pass the time. I met a lot of my really great friends, whether that be through school, just playing games afterwards. And it's just been a really cool thing to see games get better, be able to spend time in that. But of course, like many parents do, hey, make sure you get a job that is valuable, make sure you are putting your time towards that. So I had a big background in the arts, and I wanted to maybe pursue something in the theater or in maybe the background. So I tried that, didn't love it, but I loved the artistry of just being in that space. So I got into video editing. And I really just loved, creating videos, creating something. And I thought, hey, why don't I create videos for esports? I can maybe join a professional organization and be their, head of content, be, their videographer, because it's very, very important in our world to put out content, put out, videos, stories, and just, tell people that it's more than just a game, right? There are people behind these screens. There are really cool rivalries and just, things that you can build for that. So I really loved that. Thought that was what I was going to pursue. On a whim, there's a lot of head coach jobs being posted when I was looking for jobs. So I applied not thinking that I was going to get anything back. But they happened to get back to me, at least in my first job. And basically from that point, I've just been, building programs, being able to see how this space continues to grow, helping students maybe get a degree, be able to attend college for esports, with the scholarships that we can provide. Sure. And it's something, I don't regret for a second. It's really, really interesting. And I hope to be a part of it for a very long time and continuing to see how this space develops.
You're clearly passionate, and I know you want parents to understand that kids are not wasting their time just playing video games all day. There's a lot more going on in the program than that, of course.
Yeah. We really want to make it a priority that it's quality over quantity. And I think that goes for any coach in any sport, right? It is a very structured environment to where you have your dedicated practice times. We use those times just like any sport would. You might do film review. You might go over your strategy coming up for your next game. You might watch your opponent's film, right, to see what you can get. The one thing about esports that's different than traditional sports is the game changes. There might be an update, or they might tweak something that changes the way that you need to approach the game moving forwards. So you always got to make sure you stay on top of just that kind of knowledge. You call it the meta of the game.
How are you recruiting your future esport athletes?
I think the same way that many people look. There are recruiting platforms that we might look to be able to find students who just make themselves known. Social media is a really great place to look. And as I said kind of earlier, there's a lot of high schools now building their own programs. So you can go to a high school, meet those students. There are state championships being held. It's super cool to see the actual high school associations get behind this. And you have these in-person competitions you can travel to. There are recruiting combines. There is people who just will also come to you, right? We have a great program. We put our stuff out there. Hey, this is cool. I want to join that. Can I join? There's just so many ways that we're seeing more and more people just learn that this exists. That's, I think, is the biggest one. Once they learn, it's just a really cool thing to be able to tell parents, hey, yes, this is a real thing. It is, I think, a really great way to teach your child some great skills, gives them some purpose, gives them a team to be a part of. And also, hey, there's really great scholarships. You can help them achieve their degree and really set up their future.
Henry, I can tell you're passionate. I love your passion for your career. If parents, students, folks looking for another career, anyone wants to find more about your programs that you offer, how do they do that?
The best way would be to go onto our website, baker.edu. You can search esports, learn all about our program and our offerings, whether that be club, varsity, even just getting involved in our greater community. And we are always building and always growing. So we would love more students. We would love more people to get involved. Because again, we want to make sure we can give students the best experience possible, really help them grow, help them mature, and achieve their dreams.
Awesome. Henry, thanks so much for coming in today.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me.
That's Henry Johnston, the Director of Esports at Baker College. Stay with us. More of the show right after this break.